You ever catch yourself doing some weird little habit and think, why on earth do I do that? Well, what if those quirks aren't random at all? What if they're actually a secret language, your mind's way of trying to tell you something really important? Today, we're going to be decoders. We're going to use a little psychology to unlock the hidden messages behind our everyday actions.
Now, seriously, think about it for a second. The way you have to have your pillows arranged, just so. That go-to coffee order you never change. Even the way you sign off an email. What if these are all little clues? Today, we're basically following a trail of psychological breadcrumbs to see where they lead. So let's start our day and see what we can dig up.
All right, our investigation kicks off the second you open your eyes. Before you've even had that first sip of coffee, your mind is already broadcasting signals. Let's tune into that inner monologue and see what secrets it's spilling, shall we? You know that constant running commentary you've got going on in your head? Well, turns out you should probably let it out. Talking to yourself isn't a sign you're going crazy. It's actually a proven way to organize your thoughts, get yourself motivated, and even give your confidence a serious boost. So go on, have a chat. Nobody's judging.
Okay, here is a real mental tug-of-war for you. On one hand, we often think that a love of solitude is a sign of a deep thinker, a brilliant mind. But on the other hand, there's this much darker view that choosing to be alone is a huge red flag. It's a wild paradox, and it just shows you how fine that line can be between brilliant introspection and, well, unhealthy isolation.
You know, our bodies have a funny way of betraying what's going on inside. That sudden burst of rage over something tiny, like misplacing a pen, it might actually be masking a deeper feeling of being unloved. Or that habit of constantly fiddling with your keys. Could be an echo from your childhood, a need for more security. Even just restless feet could be your body's way of screaming that your mind is anxious. These are the little ways our bodies try to tell us what our minds can't.
So, here's a fascinating little psychological test. If I handed you a brand new pen right now and said, hey, write something, what would you write? Well, the chances are incredibly high that you'd write your own name. A whopping 97% of people do. It's this powerful, almost primal instinct to just assert our own identity.
But here's the kicker. While we're all busy writing our names to show who we are, one study suggests that other people are forming their first impression of us based on something else entirely. Our shoes. It's a wild reminder that the signals we think we're sending aren't always the ones people are picking up on. Now, let's take that idea with us as we step out into the social world.
So, we've explored our inner world. Now let's head outside. How do we actually connect with other people? What are the unwritten rules of friendship? And man, how do we deal when those connections break? This next part is all about the delicate dance of social interaction.
Want a super simple trick to instantly build a connection with someone? Use their name. It's a classic for a reason. Hearing our own name is like a little shot of dopamine straight to the brain. It makes us feel seen, acknowledged, and way more connected to the person talking. It's such a small thing, but it makes a huge difference. But friendships, they're not always that simple, are they? Here we have two really important cautionary tales. First, be a little wary of that person who comes on super strong, wanting to be your best friend overnight. That kind of intensity can sometimes be a red flag for an equally intense betrayal down the line. And second, think about that friend who's always there for everyone, the one who's just endlessly kind. A lot of the time, they're the ones who are hurting the most on the inside. It's a good reminder to check in on our strongest friend.
And there's a real scientific reason why being left out hurts so much. It's not just in your head. The sting of being ignored or excluded literally lights up the exact same parts of your brain as physical pain. It's this powerful proof that our need to connect with others is as real and as vital as our need for food or water.
Okay, so from the big, wide world of friendship, we're now going to zoom in on one of the most powerful and mysterious forces in our lives: attraction. What is it that pulls us towards one person and not another? Let's take a look at some of the surprising psychological factors at play. When it comes to actually falling in love, it looks like there's a bit of a gender gap in terms of speed. The data we're looking at here suggests that men tend to fall in love faster than women do. It's a really interesting finding, and it definitely challenges some of those common stereotypes we hear all the time.
And it's not just about speed, right? Specific traits can play a huge part in attraction. Take the voice, for instance. Our source suggests that women are often more drawn to men with deeper voices. But here's the interesting part. It's not just about the sound itself. It's about what that sound communicates, confidence, but without being aggressive. It's a subtle but really powerful signal.
All right, here's a thought-provoking question for you. If you find yourself constantly bringing up an ex in conversation, does that mean you're still in love with them? It's a question that, let's be honest, many of us have probably asked ourselves at some point,
And it's a powerful reminder of how long love can sometimes stick around.
Our journey through the mind doesn't just stop when the sun goes down. In fact, for a lot of us, that's when our minds are at their most active. So in this last section, we're going to explore the world of the mind after dark, a realm of creativity, dreams, and the subconscious.
Are you a night owl? Well, you are in some seriously good company. It turns out that people who stay up late are often more creative, more intelligent, and more decisive. So the next time someone gives you a hard time for being a night person, you can just tell them you're busy cultivating your genius. And when we finally do get to sleep, our minds enter this wild world of dreams that is still, for the most part, a huge mystery. But here are a couple of fascinating theories. Can't sleep? Maybe it's because you're busy starring in someone else's dream. And if you dream of someone you're close to, it might just be a sign that they were thinking of you right before they drifted off. Kinda romantic, isn't it?
Whether we're awake or asleep, our minds are just constantly working, processing, trying to make sense of everything. And this quote really seems to capture that spirit perfectly, right? Even in our darkest moments, our minds are searching for a little glimmer of hope, a path forward. It's just a testament to how resilient we are.
And that really brings us to the core theme of our whole journey today. The thoughts we think, the little habits we form, the stories we tell ourselves, all of it matters. It's not just random noise. It's literally the building blocks of our reality. Our inner world creates our outer world. It's as simple and as profound as that.
So after this whole trip into this secret language of the mind, I've just got one last question for you. What are you thinking about right now? What new little insight have you maybe gained about yourself? What habit are you suddenly seeing in a completely new light? The decoding continues with you.